Good morning, children. This is Rakshanda Hafiz from Sanskar School, Jaipur. I will be explaining you the chapter number 6 of Vistas. The title of the chapter is On the Face of It, and it is written by Suzanne Hill. This is a story about two people who face adversities in life or face difficulties in life, but their approach towards life is what makes them different, and how when they come in an interaction, the communication between these two or the interaction between these two characters make a difference in the life of the little child Derry, who is a teenage boy and is very apprehensive about the way he looks and
Created
about
with
the
free
way
version for
people
non-commercial use.
treat him. So this is a story about Mr. Lamb and Derry. Derry is a teenage boy, whereas Mr. Lamb is a middle-aged man. And Derry has a burnt face, whereas Mr. Lamb has a thin leg. Both have some or the other kind of physical disability, but they have a very different approach towards it. And then how they make themselves happy or unhappy because of their approach is what the story is going to talk about. And what is the effect of Mr. Lamb's positive approach on the mind of Derry, and how he turns out to be from a completely negative boy to a positive soul. So, before I start the story, I would just narrate a short story which is basically going to give you an idea what you are going to learn next. It's
Created
a story
with free version
about
for
two
non-commercial use.
brothers who are very different in terms of their success or their failures in their life. The first elder brother is a very unsuccessful person and is not at all approved in the society, whereas the younger brother is a very successful man and is looked upon by people, and people admire him. Once the magazine people decided to interview both the brothers because they wanted to know how come both the brothers have such a different position in the society. So they approached the elder brother and they discussed the reasons for his failure, for which he said that he comes from a family which was not at all a good family. He had seen an abusive father who was in all kind of vices and was someone who was
Created
not
with
at
free
all
version for
fit to
non-commercial
be a
use.
father or fit to be called a family man. He had a very negative personality and people did not like him because of his character and his conduct. So because he grew observing and watching his father, he adopted his lifestyle, and that is the reason why he is so unsuccessful in life. When the magazine people they interviewed the younger brother, they heard the same problem that the elder brother has said, that he lived or he comes from a family which had observed a lot of domestic violence, and he has seen a father who has been very abusive and was completely negative and created a lot of nuisance and havoc in life of his own children and wife as well as others. And that is the time when he decided that he does not want to be like his father, and so he did not follow the footsteps of his father, and that is the
Created with
reason
free
that
version for
today
non-commercial
he is a
use.
very successful man and is being liked by everybody in the society. So children, do you see that they both the brothers come from same problems, or they have faced or encountered the same issues while they were growing up, but what made them different was how they took those incidences and those issues in their life, and what approach did they follow that made them different. So this is what the story is actually going to talk about, that people they face a lot of problems in life, but what really matters is what approach they follow towards their life, and that is what is going to make their destiny or is going to make them capable or incapable of achieving success. So it is not your physical appearance, it is not how your social appearance or your financial
Created
state.
with
What
free
is
version
really
for
important
non-commercial
is
use.
how you are emotionally presenting yourself and accepting yourself, that makes a difference. So this story begins with Derry entering into the garden of Mr. Lamb, not through the main gates but by jumping the wall, because he wanted to avoid knowing or meeting any individual in the garden. And he thought that the garden at this moment is completely empty and there is no trace of people around, and he can just take a walk around the garden, enjoy himself, and return back. But the moment he jumps the wall and enters the garden, he hears the voice of the owner, that is Mr. Lamb. Mr. Lamb is very pleased to see Derry and he welcomes him in the garden, for which Derry says that I had no intention of actually harming you or harming your
Created
garden.
with free
So he
version for
says, I know
non-commercial
you
use.
are a grown up lad and you are not coming into my garden just to harm my things. So he says, how do you know that I am a grown up man, or what do you know about me? So he says, I can see it from your appearance that you are somebody who is a teenager, and teenagers are sensible enough that they can behave in a very different manner than the young little children. So I understand that you are someone who is now maturing and understands that you don't have to harm anybody's property when you are in or around that property. So he says that now, because I thought that this garden is empty, I came in, but when now I see you, I would like to return back. So he says, you don't have to return back, please don't be scared. So this really disturbs Derry, and he says, I am not scared of anybody, people are scared of me. For which Mr. Lamb asks, why do you say so? So he says, don't you look at my face? It is my
Created with
face
free
that
version for
scares people.
non-commercial
So
use.
I know that I have nothing to worry about. I have nothing to be scared of people. People have all the reasons to be scared of me. People have all the reasons to dislike me and to avoid my company. So therefore, don't use this word that I am scared or I want to run away just because I am scared.